मैं फास्ट हूँ, ये स्नेल हो गया। अब मुझको 40 मिनट्स दे रहे, सफिशिएंट। 6 SAQs, 2 chapters उड़ा देती हूँ। लिंक तो दो पहले उड़ाने के लिए। घूम रहा घूम रहा घूम रहा घूम रहा। Hello students, welcome to Botany second year class. So today we are going to start with the SAQs chapters, okay? That is the 12th and the 13th chapter. So here, first of all, we'll see the 13th chapter SAQs, because 13th and the 14th chapter, there is a one SAQ weightage. So in that SAQs, which chapter, from which chapter they will give, we cannot say. So we have to prepare for this time from both the chapter, that is in the 13th and the 14th chapter SAQs, we need to prepare. So first of all, we'll go with the 13th chapter SAQs, okay? So in the 13th chapter, we are having only 2 questions. That is the, one is the SCP culture, write a short note on the SCP. And the second one is the, give a few information about the biofortification. So in this, the most important one, what we can expect is the SCP. Write a short note on SCP. So this is the most important one, what we can say, what we can expect also. So what is meant by SCP and what to write on the, in the question, in the booklet itself, what we have to see here. SCP means single cell protein. That means from the unicellular organisms, when we are extracting the proteins, those proteins are called as the SCP, single cell proteins. So what we have to write, first of all, what is meant by SCP? Full form we have to write. SCP means single cell proteins. Now comes the next one. The how we have to, from which organisms we will extract? From the unicellular organisms. From the unicellular organisms, where we will extract the proteins for the storage of the, for the food supplements. We will extract these proteins as the, to use as the food supplements. That is called as the, SCP, otherwise the single cell protein. So in this, what is the best example what we can write? We know about the yeast. Yeast is a very simple example what we have to give after writing this definition itself. Okay, yeast is the one which is useful in the baking industries, and for making the many things we'll use the yeast. So we can say yeast is the best example. The first example what we have to write here is the example yeast. So if you know the scientific name, then well and good. If you don't know the scientific name also, well and good. That means no problem when you have written the yeast word or else the Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Any word you can write over there in the example. The first example only we have to write. Now comes the, which type of unicellular organisms are there? In that, the some algal members will come. We have to write not like this. I am saying what I am saying, like that only. If you write, that will be the best one. Okay, some algal members, we can extract the proteins. Those are the example spirulina, which is very easy for us to write this. Spirulina, S-P-I-R-U-L-L-I-N-A, spirulina. Only this much you can write for the algal members. from where we will extract the proteins. Okay. And the next one, some algal members only we have to write. We cannot say directly as all algal members are useful for the SCP. Only the unicellular. So not all algal members are having the unicellular nature. Some are the unicellular, some are the multicellular. So here some algal members only used for extracting the proteins. Example, spirulina. And the next one is the fungi. In the fungal organisms, some unicellular fungal organisms are meant to take out the proteins from their body. Example, Baker's yeast, otherwise the Saccharomyces. Okay, anything. If you are getting the problem in writing this word for the yeast, then you can write it as Baker's yeast. This is also very easy enough. Baker's yeast, because everyone know the spelling for the bakery. So Baker's yeast. Okay, so this is the fungal example and this is the algal example. Now comes the example what we have to give for the bacteria. So in the bacteria, which one we have to give, what we have to say? In that, in some bacteria, again we have to use the word as the some bacteria only useful for the SCP culture. Otherwise, for taking out the proteins from the bacteria, only few bacterial organisms only utilized in the biotech labs. Only this much also you can write. If you want to write the Methylophilus also, you can write over there. Methylophilus also we can write. Methylophilus. Easy to write the word. Like that words only I am saying, so that no further spelling mistakes for us. So what is this SCP and what is the usage of this actually? So here what we are saying is the advantages and the disadvantages of the SCP culture. So in this, what are the advantages? Advantages means uses of the SCP. So when we are taking out the proteins from these organisms, we can make them as for the usage of the consumption of the human beings, which are lacking in their proteins in the normal food material only. For them only, we will take out these proteins first of all. So here, whenever we are taking, these are having the high biomass. Biomass means their weight will be more. When we will take out this proteins from these unicellular organisms, their quantity and will be more. That is, the biomass production will be more, and the growth is also more for these organisms, so that we will get more amount of the food material for our consumption process only. And for example, in this, if we from one cow, if the cow is giving which is having the 250 kilograms weight and kgs weight, and having it's producing the proteins per day out of the 250 grams of proteins it is producing per day. But with the microorganisms, we will get the more number. With the 250 grams of microorganisms only, we can get 25 tons of protein. So here biomass is more or less more. That's the one what we are saying. So by using these microorganisms, we can produce large quantity of proteins in a short duration. You can write like this, a common sentence now. Very easy sentence, what we are using in regular life. So the same one only I am saying here. If you don't remember the weight of a cow and the proteins per day, also leave it. Not at all important. But what we have to write, from the microorganisms, we can get more number of proteins than from the natural sources. Okay. than the natural sources. Example, 250 grams of microorganisms can produce 25 tons of proteins per day. They like that, if you have done, that is sufficient. Only this much you have to write for the first advantage. And the second one, what we have to write, these can be grown on the raw materials and the waste materials. So it's easy to grow in the biotech labs on the waste materials, as the waste materials also can be reutilized in the biotech labs as for the production of the protein. So it's the environment safe, what we are saying. Okay, so here these microorganisms can be grown on the waste materials very easily in the biotech labs. Example, spirulina. Write only one example as the spirulina. No need how they are growing, because this is an algal member, spirulina, what I have given in the starting. So this spirulina can grow on the wastewater that comes from the sugarcane fields, otherwise from the straw, otherwise from the leaves. Okay, from the damaged, otherwise the waste products also, it can easily grown, and on the waste water also, on the animal excretia, otherwise even on the sewage water also, it can be grown very easily. But it is giving the high amount of proteins for us. So that's what we are growing. So this is the way how to clean the water also. So environmental safety, what we have already learned in the sewage treatment, where how to clean the sewage water. Same thing over here also. So spirulina is the best example, which can be grown easily on the wastewater, otherwise the waste materials in the biotech labs. Okay, that is the second point. And the third one, it can be utilized, the waste materials can be reutilized, and it can reduce the atmospheric pollution. What I said, same one you can write in your own words also. Okay, environmental pollution, reduces environmental pollution. This can be said in your own words. How to say? Once we are growing on the waste material, the environment is free from the waste materials. That's also you can write. It's up to you how you are writing, but meaning should be coming as it is. And if here we won't make the meaning, you have to write a meaningful sentence. That means words should have the connection when you are writing. Make sure that here we won't arrange the words to get the meaning what you are going to expect, what is there in your brain. We won't do. So you have to make a simple sentence which is having a good meaning in this. And the next one is these can be cultured throughout the year. Okay, that means these microorganisms can be grown all over the day, otherwise every day, without any season is not mandatory for us. Otherwise, the environment is not mandatory. So throughout the year, we can grow them. Cultured means growing. If you cannot use this word, you can say we can easily grow these organisms throughout the year. That's also there, very easy. And these proteins are very rich in vitamins and minerals and the amino acids. Okay, and fat quantities are very less in these organisms, from where we are extracting the proteins. We are concentrating on the proteins, not on the fats now. So here, these proteins are very rich in vitamins, minerals, and the amino acids, and less amount of fats are there. These are the advantages. Now the disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? Whenever we are growing them, there is a risk of contamination. There is a chance of contamination. Okay. Contamination means through them, even we will get the infection. That is the contamination. And the second one, this requires the technical knowledge. What we said in the biotechnology, whenever we are using the lab, technical skills are important for the person. Same thing over here also we have to write as a disadvantage. And the toxinous substances are more as the byproducts in these organisms. From these organisms, we'll get the toxinous substances as more. Okay, and these proteins are not suitable for all the people who are present over there. That is the most important one. Okay, so like that, we have to wind up this SCP. Okay, next one is the biofortification. What is meant by biofortification? Biofortification means biofortification. First of all, we have to give the definition for this. Biofortification means when we are growing the plants with the high levels of the vitamins and the minerals in them to satisfy the needs of the person, that is called as the biofortification. Okay, when we are growing the plants, so what the definition for the biofortification? The plants which are growing, which will be having the high amount of minerals and the proteins in them, that is called as the biofortification. And in these biofortified plants, the fat contents are very, very less or completely absent also, we can say. Okay, and these are which gives the good health for the common people. Okay, so which we can use for each and everyone to get the protein compensations in the body. So the poor people who cannot buy the highly proteinaceous food, for them we can give the normal food which is having the high protein quantity in them. The poor people, what they will buy? They will buy mostly they will depend on the leafy vegetables and the cheapest vegetable, which is the potato. So and the main ingredient to eat these two is the rice or the wheat. If we are making the high proteinaceous and the vitamins in the rice and the wheat, then everything will be compensated for us, and each and every person in the country, otherwise in the world, will be having the good nutrients in their body, so that they can become very good citizens for the country and they can save their country. And once the internal health is good, then the mental thinking will be normal. That means how we are thinking. Our thinking will go always in a positive way. And otherwise, we will think in the negative way to steal the things from others. If because of the hunger, because of lack of proteins and nutrients in us, we want to compensate that. Otherwise, even we want to get the things, then we want to steal the things from others. That may be the money or jewelry. And once we are addicted to this, and without anything also, that means without any money also, not for the money also, we will kill and will come back. That's the thinking capacity. So this changes for the person when his stomach is not full. That means his complete nutrients are not given to that body, then brain will work in a negative manner. So first of all, the brain has to be corrected. So to that, we have to supply the nutrient materials, nutrient food for the citizens itself. That's the first aim of us. So for the scientists only. So they have taken out all these things and they have started with growing the plants with the vitamins and the protein levels more. Okay, so minerals means all the vitamins, proteins, and everything will come in the minerals. What we learned in the mineral elements, which are necessary for making some amino acids in the body and for making the hormones in the body. All those things comes under this category. So this is the linked up chapter now, the last chapter, but linked to the previous chapters, first chapters. Okay. So now on what basis we are doing this? Okay. So objectives means the main aim for improving the crops. That is the one what we have to discuss. For increase of the protein quantity, for increasing the protein quantity, for the oil content and the quality of the oil. Because for us, whenever we have to cook something, we are depending on the oil. Without oil, we cannot do anything that is the cooking purpose or fries or anything. We need the oil now. So oil should be good enough. Whatever, how much we are consuming, we will consume a little bit per day. But if that is having the less fat and high amount of the minerals, then our health can be maintained so that cholesterol level can be decreased in our body. So with this, our health will be maintained, means we will think in a normal way. If we can say how this can be related, the thinking and the hungry feeling, otherwise the vitamin deficiency. One small example I am giving to you so that it will be very easy for you to think. If you are having the headache, okay, by the afternoon you got a severe headache. Why you got that headache? Because you didn't had your lunch and breakfast on that day. Then you will have a severe headache. At that time, whatever the good things will say, you won't listen. You cannot able to sit, you cannot able to concentrate on anything, and you will be somewhat disturbed and you want to beat someone because of that irritable headache, which you cannot able to control and you cannot able to express. If you are having the food, then your headache will come normal, then you will become a human being. What others will say to us, isn't it? Same thing, if observe ourselves first of all, then we can have this clear idea what we are discussing on this topic right now. Okay, SCPs and the biofortification and everything are linked topics. So here the oil content and the quality should be, we have to keep an eye on the oil extracting plants. So from which seeds will extract the oil? Groundnut and the sunflower seeds. Sunflower oil, what we are using, that also zero cholesterol. In the market, how they will give the ads, zero cholesterol. Otherwise, in the wheat flour, okay, they are saying that no sugar contents and high fiber. Why they are saying all these things? To attract us? No, our needs are changing per day to day. Every day our needs will change. Like this ads we haven't seen in our childhood. In your childhood only you have not seen. Even in our childhood also we have not seen like this ads. 0% cholesterol. Only one oil should be used to be there over at the end. And I was very young. That is a Saffola. That was too costly. Only for the heart patients, some people used to use that Saffola oil. Okay, that is also not 0% cholesterol, but less fat, less cholesterol when compared with the other oils. Nowadays, we are having many oils of that kind, isn't it? Like that, in the market, we are based on our need only. The market is also producing like those goods. Here also, we are going back. How these oils are coming from the seeds. So seeds are coming from the plants. So we are growing the plants based on our needs only now. That is the one what we are discussing, oil content and the quality of the oil. And in that, vitamins should be more so that we should not have any vitamin deficiency. If vitamin A deficiency is there, then we cannot see. Vision is poor, and vitamin K deficiency, bloodlessness, and the calcium deficiency, bones will become brittle, otherwise the weakness will be coming. So we are unfit to do our regular work. If the same scenario, if we can assume, can we assume for the same thing for the soldiers who are guarding our country? We cannot. So we need all these things now. So whatever we need, we are saying in the, on what basis, what are the important things that has to be there in the plant body. Okay, so the first one is the protein content and the quality of the proteins, oil content and the quality of the oil, and the vitamins should be more, and the micronutrients and the mineral content. Micronutrients and the mineral contents means nothing but the elements that are present in the plant body. Because what we are saying, micronutrients, only the micro elements. Micro elements, what we are talking about this. So this is very, very important to maintain our health. So all these 4 points we have to write over there. That is the main objectives to grow the plants with these good qualities in them. Okay. Now, what are the benefits of this biofortification in the society? What we are saying, what we are giving to the society. Okay. So in this, what we have to say, the best examples of the plants. So take out the few plants what you know very well. We know the wheat variety now. So here I am saying you the good examples. Wheat variety. Okay. That is the, in that many varieties we have made for the betterment of the human beings based on our needs. Needs should be satisfied. But in that, what we are concentrating is the at class 666. At class 66 is the one of the wheat variety which is having the high protein content and which is improving the cultivation. Okay. So in the wheat variety, so what we have to write, benefits of the biofortification at class wheat variety at class 66, which is having high protein content and the fibers in them. What we need in the wheat, these two. And the next one is the what we need, iron. Okay. So when we need the iron, so which is the most important one to make, to iron is important to make the RBC cells. What we know in zoology, same thing we need to apply here. Okay. So what is the major food in our country? Basically in our country here we are talking, that is the rice. Rich to the poor people will have rice in their regular life, in a regular food material, that is in the day-to-day life. So if in the rice, if we are improving this element, then they will have this element. So the blood levels, RBC count will be good and the RBC production is good. Then always the health can be maintained. The immunity power will increase once the blood cells are good enough in the body. RBC's life is good and the size is good, means immunity will increases automatically for the person. So like that, we are making the health of the person to be maintained. So in the rice variety, we are increasing the iron and iron levels, otherwise the iron elements 5 times, so that this can be used by the each and every person and they can have this element in their body sufficiently. Okay. And the next one is the golden rice, type E variety, golden rice. Okay. So this is having the beta carotene more in them. Carotene is the most important one for our body to maintain the good health and the immunity power. Okay. Carotenoids, that is the beta carotene is the most important one in the golden rice, where the skin and the bones are getting the calcium and the vitamin E can be made with this, and the vitamin B12 completely, vitamin B12 complex can be more by this beta carotene. So with this, all the deficiencies can be easily cleared for us, can be easily removed. That's the main intention of us. Okay. And the next one is the vitamin A. Again, vitamin A is most important for vision. No? So that is the one what I said, that can be enriched in the carrots, spinach, and the pumpkin. So which are the one what we are using in the regular day-to-day life. Okay. Next one, vitamin C. Nowadays, in these 3 years during the corona, we are hearing the vitamin C increases the immunity. Same thing again comes over here. It's very easy for us to remember. Vitamin C is enriched in the bitter gourd, that you can easily remember and write. Okay, and mustard seeds and the tomato. If you can remember 2 plant names, also sufficient. Bitter gourd and the tomato, which is very easy to remember now. Tomato, we can remember very easily, and bitter gourd. So in this one, what is the importance of these 2 plants, which is having the vitamin C? Okay, so that is the one what we are doing with the biofortification. And iron, calcium, vitamin A, all these things we are improving in the plant quantities by this biofortification. Iron and calcium are enriched in spinach. So the same thing you can write over here also. When vitamin A is enriched in carrots, spinach, and vitamin, iron and calcium are enriched in the spinach, because vitamin A and iron and calcium, these 2 are interlinked elements and interlinked vitamins only. Okay, so this is the most important one. If vitamin A is more, then iron and calcium will come automatically. If these 2 elements are good in the body, then this vitamin will be coming made by the body itself. So that's a plus point for our body only. Okay, and the next one is the protein enriched beans. That is the one what we are seeing, what we are using every day. French beans, broad beans, local beans, cluster beans, what everything we will eat now. In that, if protein contents are more, if we are increasing the protein contents, then that will be the good one for our diet itself. That is the broad beans, beans lab, okay. Otherwise, the only one example only you can give, broad beans. Otherwise, the French beans. If you are very much easy, then you can write the French beans only. Example, French beans, sufficient. In them, we are increasing the fiber as well as the protein contents in the seeds, so that we can easily get all the good qualities what we want in this. Okay, and the next one is from the 12th chapter, that is applications of biotechnology. In that, again, we are having the 4 questions. Out of 4 questions, 1 question we can expect. Okay, so in that 1 question, which one that may be coming from the 11th or the 12th chapter? Mostly they will give from the 12th chapter. That is 90% they will give from the 12th chapter, because 11th chapter is the LAQ, that is the RDNA technology and the RDNA technology and the tools for the RDNA technology. That is there now. That is the 11th chapter. One LAQ is coming. And sometimes from that chapter only we will get the SAQ, or else from the 12th chapter we'll get the SAQ. Because now we cannot say from which chapter we'll get, because they are considering the complete unit into the consideration. At that time, even no one can say. So better to go with the SAQs from these units itself, where 2 chapters are there. Okay, so here the first one will be the easiest one, is the biosafety issues concerned with the genetically modified crops. So this you can easily say the answer if you know the previous biotechnology, how we will go for using the biotechnology process only. If not, also generally also you can say biotechnology means genetically modified crops, means when we are changing the genotype of any organism, that is called as the genetically modified organism. But here we are talking about the plants, so those are the genetically modified crops. So in that, what we have to say, that means when the genes of the plants are changed, those plants are called as the genetically modified crops. When the genes are changed, the one what we are eating the products, the genes will interact with our genes also. So that is the problematic one, obviously. That's what we are saying. Okay, what are the biosafety issues? That means what we have to consider as the safest side when we are producing like these plants in the outside world. The first one is there is a fear of transferring the allergies and the toxins to the humans, to the animals as a side effects. So by using these genetically modified crops, when the genes are changed for the crops, then we can say they will give the allergies for us. Otherwise, sometimes the toxinous means highly poisonous for us. So for some people only, not for all. Only for few people, it will be the toxinous one. Okay, not for all. Don't worry that everyone will going to die by eating this, who are very weak in their immunity, otherwise having the some problems, health issues, severe health issues, then they will be affected very fast by using this genetically engineered crop. That is when the genes were changed for the plants itself. And there is a risk of changing the fundamental nature of the vegetables. That means how they are looking, usually the complete nature existence we are changing into some other form. That is a dangerous signal in the environment itself, because environment never selects the organism which has changed their shape and structure. Okay, so that is the most important one for the plants and the animals itself. So have you ever seen any animal which is having the 3 legs? No. 2 legs? No. A monkey born without a tail, it cannot survive, because other monkey only says that you are not a monkey and I won't join in you in my group. So single organism cannot survive always. So it needs to have the same shape, then only they will accept them in their group of the organisms. That is the most important one, what we are discussing here. So the originality of the organisms will change with the genotype, what we are changing. That is there is a risk of changing the basic nature of the fundamental nature, means basic nature of the vegetables itself. And they possess and they will be having the harmful effects on the biodiversity. Just now I said now, when the organism was not looking alike, then the already existing organisms cannot make them in their group. That's the biodiversity. There is a chance of having a biodiversity. That means a change of the organisms in the specific area. That is a biodiversity. Okay, so which gives an adverse impact on the environment. And there is a risk of the gene pollution. By changing the genotype of the organism, there is a risk of the gene pollution. So with that, the complete organism, the originality of the species, the wild species, that means the original species and their genotypes, we may lose in generations together. And like that, we will forget how the plant originally looks. And like that only what now we are seeing in the city. When we are having many flyovers, if anyone went to foreign country, after 5 years when they return back to Hyderabad or any city, they cannot even imagine where is their house and what is the traffic, and these are very much clumsy, what they will feel by seeing the flyovers and all these things. The roads are clumsy and they have lost their originality of the city. Beauty of the city, they are lost. So that like that only here also we are seeing for the plants also. When the genotype changes, the original, that is the wild varieties, may lost their original genotype and the existence. These are the drawbacks. One, that is the biosafety issues, what we have to take care when we are changing the gene of an organism, gene of the plant body itself, to get the benefits through these plants. Okay. So with this, we'll complete for today's session, and please prepare with all the questions what now I said, and we'll continue with the next questions in the next class. Stay tuned to the same time, same class. Thank you.